If you believed in me.
Oscar Peterson doing the singing on that one. That's right. It's Only a Paper Moon. Ask anyone who's heard him. Dave Young is one of the finest musicians in the world and certainly one of the top bass players in jazz. He's worked with the best of the best, from Sweets Edison to Hank Jones, Nat Adderley, and James Moody. One of his particularly special musical relationships was with Dr. Oscar Peterson, who said the following about his friend and colleague. To my way of thinking, Dave Young is one of the most talented bassists on the jazz scene. His harmonic simpatico and unerring sense of rhythm have kept him in the foreground of the jazz picture. It's the mutual respect like this that has kept Dave Young busy with tributes to Dr. Peterson, including one tomorrow night at Hughes Room. And Dave Young joins me in studio this morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Heather.
How are
Great
you?
to be here. I'm good.
Good to have you here. Mm-hmm. First of all, this is something I knew you played with Oscar Peterson, but I don't know how long you guys played together.
We played basically from 1975 through to the end, which was, 06, 05, 06. Mm-hmm. So off and on. I spent maybe 6 months a year in 1975 playing duo with him, and then after that it became a group, trio, quartet. Off and on. Niels Peterson was doing it most of the time, but I went in and filled in. And from time to time. How did
the musical relationship work? How did it begin?
I began actually at Banff School, which is a summer school, jazz summer school series back in the 70s, run by Phil Nimmons, who was one of Oscar's close friends, and that's how I met Oscar. We were out there for a week and ended up playing a concert together.
Now, we just heard him singing, and
yes.
My understanding is that, and I don't know how he began singing or what prompted it, but he did one record where he did vocals. A lot of people compared him to Nat Cole, mm-hmm. and it was after that he just said, "No, I'm not going to do the singing much anymore." Is that pretty well what happened?
Well, I think they actually came to somewhat of an agreement. Apparently, Nat came to one of the performances, and Oscar had made a habit, I guess, of singing now and then. He would sing tenderly or some nice ballads. So Nat came to this particular performance, and after the concert they went, and Nat said, "You sound great. Your singing is, wow, it's just special. And of course, you're piano playing. What can I say about your piano playing?" So he said, "I want to make a deal with you." And Oscar said, "Oh, yeah, okay." He says, "How about if you agree not to sing, and I'll agree not to play the piano."
No way, really?
And then we can sort of go on with our careers, and it'll work probably much better. And so Oscar laughed, and he said, "Oh." But in effect, he basically said, "Okay, I agree to that. I won't sing if you won't, if you'll sort of lighten up on the piano playing." So it worked that way until after Nat passed away, and then when that happened, when he passed, Oscar put out this album called "With Respect to Nat," and that's when he sang all these tunes, a la Nat King Cole.
Wow!
So there was some kind of a tacit agreement there between the two of them. I think it was done more in a good feeling than real hard-nosed business. But mm-hmm. In fact, they talked about it. Yeah,
I've been meaning to have the same conversation with Diana Krall for years. Yeah, she just doesn't seem to answer my calls. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, you've got to have these agreements.
Yeah. That's really interesting. I knew that. He had such an incredibly unique sound on the piano. It's one of those things where you just when you're hearing Oscar Peterson that it's Oscar.
Yeah.
And so it makes sense that he would want to maintain that sort of individuality and not sound like anybody else.
That's right.
When you worked with him later in the 70s and through to the early 2000s, did he have the same inclination to sing when he was doing shows with you?
No, back when I first started, he sometimes would sing a tune at the end of the night. It's a lovely way to spend an evening. I think a couple of times he sang that, but otherwise, I didn't hear him sing at all. I mean, not on the stage, not on the concert.
What do you think of his singing when you hear it?
I like it because I was always a huge fan of Nat King Cole. So Oscar's voice is it's musical and it's soft. It's not. It's so easy to listen to. That's the part that I like about it.
I'm chatting with Dave Young, who is paying tribute to Oscar Peterson tomorrow night at Hughes Room. Mm-hmm. And you are doing some things tomorrow night. You're doing some Oscar Peterson compositions.
Yes.
And some little-known vocal tunes.
Yes, there's been a few tunes that have surfaced at this point that were not really recorded or played to any extent. So we're going to have Denzel Sinclair perform these tunes tomorrow night. Things like Hymn to Freedom will definitely be part of the program, mm-hmm. But that hasn't been performed in the Oscar Peterson context vocally. So we will have several tunes that Denzel will sing, and he's a special singer anyhow. So it'll be interesting, and I'm really looking forward to it.
How did you find those tunes?
Well, probably with the help of Kelly Peterson. Kelly and I we keep in contact all the time, and she pointed out these 2 or 3 beautiful ballads that were written. So we've organized them, and Denzel's got the lyrics, and we're going to do them tomorrow night.
This may be a difficult question, but I'm curious to know what your thoughts are about the composition of someone who is known as an instrumentalist. He's a piano player and so well respected and such incredible articulation and brilliant technique. Mm-hmm. Then to branch out and do vocal tunes. What do you think? Do you think, wow, he should have been writing these kinds of tunes all along?
What do I think? Well, I think it's just one more part of his musical makeup. Oscar was not always an aggressive. I mean, everybody thinks he's an aggressive, pianist who can just play anything he wanted on the piano. But some of his most beautiful playing is on ballads and things that just require, easygoing, relaxed approach, and I think the vocals, a lot of the time, the vocal music that he came up with were exactly that. It was easygoing, relaxed, and you think, wow, this is beautiful. Is that Oscar Peterson?
The softer side of Oscar Peterson.
Yeah, no, definitely. He's got that soft side.
Mm-hmm. Tomorrow night, Dave Young Quintet, a tribute to Oscar Peterson. It's happening 8:30 p.m. at Hughes Room. Information is at hughesroom.com. And you can book dinner reservations, get your tickets by going to Hughes Room or calling 416-531-6604. Dave Young, Robbie Botosh, Warren Sturtzinger, Terry Clark, and, of course, the wonderful Denzel Sinclair. It's going to be a fabulous show. Enjoy tomorrow night.
Thank you, Heather.
Have a fabulous time. Thanks for coming by.
My pleasure.
We'll play a little more Oscar, doing another vocal tune?
Absolutely.
A little Orange-Colored Sky.
For sure.
Oscar Peterson on Jazz FM 91.
I was walking along, minding my business, when out of an orange-colored sky